The afternoon sun hangs low and heavy, a disk of molten gold in a hazy sky. It bleeds through the plate, this glass window of the Silver Spoon Diner, illuminating swirling dust motes in long, lazy shafts of light. The air inside is thick. It smells of old coffee, sizzling bacon grease, and the faint, sweet scent of pancake syrup that has seeped into the cracked red vinyl of the booths. A low hum comes from the fluorescent lights overhead. The clink of cutlery against cheap ceramic plates provides a sparse rhythm. In the corner booth, four men sit. They are mountains of leather and denim, islands of quiet menace in the sea of mundane diner life. Their presence shifts the room's gravity. Patrons speak in lower tones. The waitress, Sharon, moves with a careful, deliberate efficiency, her smile a little too tight. These are the sons of Odin. Their vests, or cuts, are their second skins, adorned with patches that tell stories of miles and loyalties incomprehensible to the other diners. A winged skull, intricate Norse knotwork, the words, "In memory of smoke." Bear sits at the head of the booth, facing the door. His title, President, is stitched over his heart. He is a massive man with a beard more gray than black and hands that could palm a cinder block. His eyes, deep set and watchful, miss nothing. He sips his black coffee, the thick white mug looking like a child's toy in his grip. Across from him is Reaper, the sergeant at arms. Leaner than his president, Reaper is coiled tension. A long, faded scar cuts from his temple to his jawline, a pale river through the weathered landscape of his face. He does not drink his coffee. He just stares into its blackness as if divining futures from the depths. Two other members, Anvil and Preacher, flank them, their quiet conversation a low rumble that does not carry. They are a part of the scenery, yet wholly separate from it. A family in a nearby booth hushes their children, pulling them closer. A pair of truckers at the counter finish their meals in silence, pay their bill, and leave without a backward glance. This is the ritual, the quiet judgment, the fear of the unknown, of men who look like they are carved from hardship and violence. The sons of Odin are used to it. They do not care. Their world operates on a different code, one forged in wind, rain, and unwavering loyalty. Today is just a stop, a moment of rest on a long road to somewhere else. The peace is thin, fragile as a soap bubble. Then the diner door flies open. It slams against the inside wall with a crash that shatters the quiet. Every head turns. A little girl stands framed in the doorway, silhouetted against the blinding afternoon light. She is a gasp of desperation, maybe 8 years old. Her dress, once a cheerful yellow, is smudged with dirt and torn at the shoulder. Her feet are bare, soles dark with grime. Her chest heaves with ragged, frantic breaths. Tears have cut clean paths through the dust on her cheeks. Her eyes are enormous, wide with a terror so profound it chills the warm diner air. For a moment she just stands there, a wild thing caught in the headlights. Her world is a blur of motion and noise. The pounding in her ears is her own heart, a frantic drumbeat of pure fear. The road was hot under her feet. Gravel bit into her skin. Every shadow held a monster. Every sound was him, coming for her. Her gaze darts around the room from the startled family to the nervous waitress to the two truckers frozen on their way out. She is looking for a hero, for anyone. Her eyes land on the corner booth, on the four large men in black leather. They are bigger than the other men. They look dangerous. They look like the monsters from her nightmares. But the man chasing her is a monster in a nice shirt. Maybe different monsters fight each other. The thought is a flicker of desperate hope. She takes a staggering step forward, then another. Her voice, when it comes out, is a raw, trembling whisper that seems to fill the entire silent room. "Please," a sob catches in her throat. "Please, you have to help me." Bear sets his coffee mug down. The sound is a soft, definitive thud on the formica tabletop. He does not move, but his attention is now entirely on the child. The girl points a shaking finger back toward the open door, toward the shimmering heat rising from the asphalt outside. "He's coming!" she chokes out. "Mr. Caldwell is coming!" As if summoned by his name, a figure appears in the doorway. The contrast is jarring. A man steps inside, blinking as his eyes adjust to the dimmer light. He is the picture of calm respectability. He wears neatly pressed khaki pants, a pale blue polo shirt, and polished brown loafers. His hair is perfectly parted, his face clean shaven. He looks like he belongs on a golf course or at a parent-teacher conference. He offers a placating, apologetic smile to the room at large. It is a practiced smile meant to disarm and reassure. "I am so terribly sorry for the disturbance," he says. His voice is smooth, cultured, the kind of voice that exudes authority and reason. He takes a step toward the girl. She flinches violently, stumbling back until she bumps into a table. "Lily, honey, come on now," the man says, his voice taking on a tone of gentle paternal exasperation. "You know you aren't supposed to run off. You gave me quite a scare." He turns his attention back to the other patrons, his smile widening slightly, as if sharing a secret joke with the other adults in the room. "My apologies, everyone. We're having a bit of a difficult day." He gestures vaguely toward the girl. "She has these episodes, gets very confused and overwhelmed. It's a delicate family matter, but we are handling it with professional care." He tries to project an air of weary competence, of a man doing his best in a trying situation. He takes another step. "Come on, Lily. Let's go home. Your mother will be worried." He reaches a hand out for her. The girl lets out a small, terrified whimper and scrambles away from his touch, moving deeper into the diner. She moves toward the corner booth, toward the mountains of leather. Without thinking, she ducks behind Bear's enormous frame, peering out with one frightened eye. She clutches the back of his leather vest, her small fingers bunching up the thick material. Caldwell's smile tightens at the edges. Annoyance flickers in his eyes before being quickly suppressed. "Sir," he says, addressing Bear directly for the first time, "I appreciate you, providing a safe spot, but I really must be taking her. We have an appointment." Bear does not turn around. He does not acknowledge Caldwell at all. He speaks to the child hiding behind him, his voice a low, gravelly rumble. "What's your name, little one?" Her answer is a muffled whisper against the leather. "Lily." "Okay, Lily," Bear says, his voice softening impossibly. "You just stay right there. Nobody's going to touch you." Only then does he slowly, deliberately stand up. He unfolds himself from the booth, rising to his full, imposing height. He is a wall between the man and the child. He simply stands there, blocking the path. An immovable object. Caldwell's composure begins to fray. "Look, I don't know who you think you are," he says, his smooth voice gaining a sharper edge, "but this is a private family matter. I am this child's legal guardian, and you are interfering." Reaper remains seated, but he leans forward slightly, his elbows on the table. His eyes, cold and analytical, are locked on Caldwell. He is assessing, watching. "She doesn't want to go with you," Bear states. It is not an accusation. It is a simple, undeniable fact. "She's a child," Caldwell snaps, his voice rising. "She's confused. She's been through a lot of trauma, and she requires specialized care. You are making things worse." He tries to reassert his authority, puffing out his chest slightly. "Now I am asking you politely. Step aside." From behind Bear, Lily's small voice pipes up, stronger this time. "He's not my guardian." Every eye in the diner is now fixed on the confrontation. Sharon, the waitress, stands by the counter, a pot of coffee forgotten in her hand, her face a mask of concern and fear. "He's my mom's counselor," Lily whispers, her words gaining clarity. "He told me we were going for ice cream." Bear's gaze never leaves Caldwell. He absorbs this new information without any visible reaction. He begins a cross-examination, his questions simple, direct, and delivered in a calm, even tone. "You said you're her guardian. I am, Caldwell insists, his jaw tight, court appointed. The paperwork is in my car. This is all a formality. What's her mother's full name? Bear asks, a flicker of hesitation. Sarah Peterson. Her date of birth? Reaper's voice cuts in, sharp and cold, from the table. Caldwell's eyes dart toward Reaper, then back to Bear. He is being flanked. I I don't have that information memorized. It's in the files. This is highly irregular. You have no right to question me. You're her guardian, Bear repeats, the words hanging in the air. Seems like something a guardian should know. The respectable mask is slipping. Sweat beads on Caldwell's temple. His polished loafers shift uncomfortably on the linoleum floor. He is used to being in control, used to his words and his position being enough. They are not enough here, not against the silent, unwavering judgment of these men. This is ridiculous, Caldwell sputters, trying to appeal to the other people in the diner. This child is clearly distressed, and these thugs are frightening her even more. Can't you see that? Someone should call the police. We already have, Reaper says, his voice flat. Caldwell's face pales. He had not seen anyone make a call. He underestimated them. He underestimated their quiet efficiency. My mom, Lily says, her voice trembling but clear. He hurt my mom. This is the turning point, the moment suspicion hardens into certainty. Bear kneels down, a difficult creaking motion for a man his size. He turns his back completely on Caldwell, a gesture of ultimate dismissal. He is now eye level with the terrified child. His huge, tattooed hands rest on his knees. What did he do, Lily? He asks gently. The diner is so quiet you can hear the buzz of a fly near the window. He told her she needed to rest, Lily says, tears welling in her eyes again. He gave her some tea that made her sleepy. Then he carried her out to the car. Where did he take her? The old Miller farm, she whispers, the words tumbling out in a rush. The one with the broken fence. He put her in the little blue shed, the one with the rusty lock. She looks up at Bear, her small face filled with a desperate need to be believed. He locked it. He put the key on his necklace. It's a little silver key on a silver chain. This is it. The crucial detail. Specific. Verifiable. Reaper stands up from the booth. He walks over to the counter where Sharon is standing, her knuckles white as she grips the coffee pot. Ma'am, Reaper says, his voice calm but carrying an undeniable weight of command. Your phone, please. Sharon wordlessly hands it to him. Sheriff Brody's personal number, Reaper says. It is not a question. Sharon's eyes widen slightly. She nods, her fingers fumbling as she quickly taps the screen and hands the phone back. Reaper puts the phone to his ear. Caldwell watches this, his face a storm of conflicting emotions, panic, rage, disbelief that his carefully constructed world is being dismantled by a group of bikers in a roadside diner. This is an outrage, he bellows, his voice finally breaking, losing its smooth professional veneer. This is kidnapping. I am a respected child psychologist. I have connections. You will all be in jail by tonight. The threat is hollow. It sounds pathetic in the heavy silence. Reaper speaks into the phone. Brody, it's Reaper. We're at the Silver Spoon on Highway 12. We have a situation. He pauses, listening. A child. Lily Peterson. She says her mother, Sarah, has been locked in a shed at the old Miller farm by a man named Caldwell. He's here with us. Another pause. Yeah, that's what we thought too. Get a unit out to the farm now and send a car here. Quickly. He hangs up and places the phone gently back on the counter. He turns to face Caldwell. They're on their way. Both places. The mask is gone, completely shattered. Caldwell's face is no longer that of a concerned professional. It is the face of a cornered predator, cold, calculating, utterly devoid of empathy. His eyes, which had been feigning concern, are now flat and hard, like chips of slate. You have made a grave mistake, he says, his voice low and seething. You have no idea the trouble you've just caused for yourselves. He tries to project an aura of menace, of power held in reserve. But the men of the Sons of Odin have faced true menace. They have stood in the face of real violence. Caldwell is just a man in a polo shirt whose lies have run out. He sees it in their eyes. He sees that they are not afraid of him. He sees that they believe the child. And in that moment, his plan B kicks in flight. He makes a sudden, desperate move, not toward Lily, not toward the bikers, toward the door. He lunges, a clumsy, frantic scramble for freedom. He never makes it. Reaper moves with a liquid speed that is shocking in a man his size. He does not chase. He simply intercepts. One hand shoots out and clamps down on Caldwell's shoulder. The man is stopped dead, as if he has run into a concrete wall. Caldwell lets out a cry of pain and surprise. Reaper spins him around and slams him against the wall next to the jukebox. The impact makes a heavy thud. A few old 45s on the display rattle. There is no punch thrown, no unnecessary violence. It is an act of pure, efficient neutralization. Reaper holds him there, one forearm pressed against Caldwell's throat, pinning him effortlessly. Caldwell's polished loafers scrabble for purchase on the floor. His face is turning red. His hands beat weakly against Reaper's arm. You're breaking my arm, he gags. No, I'm not, Reaper says, his voice a deadly calm whisper. If I were breaking your arm, you'd know it. The distant wail of sirens becomes audible, growing closer, louder. A wave of relief washes over the diner. Bear rises from his kneeling position and places a heavy, reassuring hand on Lily's shoulder. The little girl has stopped crying. She watches, wide-eyed, as the man who terrified her is held helpless against a wall by one of the leather-clad giants. The flashing red and blue lights sweep across the diner's interior, painting the scene in stark, pulsing colors. Two police cars skid to a halt in the gravel lot outside. The door opens and Sheriff Brody steps in. He is a tall, weary-looking man with a lawman's observant eyes. He takes in the scene in an instant. The terrified girl hiding behind the biker president. The biker sergeant-at-arms pinning a well-dressed man to the wall. The stunned silence of the other patrons. He knows the Sons of Odin. He knows their reputation, but he also knows their code. He has seen their quiet brand of justice before. Reaper, Brody says, his voice calm. You can let him go now. We'll take it from here. Reaper releases the pressure, stepping back as two deputies move in, cuffing a sputtering, indignant Caldwell. I want a lawyer, Caldwell shrieks. I'm pressing charges, assault, kidnapping. You can tell it to the judge, Brody says tiredly, already directing his deputies. Get him in the car. As they haul him away, the chain around Caldwell's neck becomes visible. Dangling from it is a small silver key. Brody's eyes lock on it for a moment, then meet Reaper's. A silent understanding passes between them. Another deputy kneels down to speak to Lily, her voice soft and professional, but the girl shies away, pressing closer to Bear. She trusts the monster who was kind over the authority that was absent. Bear scoops her up in one arm as if she weighs nothing. The little girl, exhausted and overwhelmed, finally lets go. She buries her face in the worn leather of his vest and wraps her arms around his thick neck. He gently pats her back, his huge hand covering most of her small frame. He looks at Sheriff Brody. We'll stay with her, Bear says. It is not a request. Brody nods. I figured as much. We just got word from the Miller farm. They found her. Sarah Peterson. She's shaken, dehydrated, but she's alive. A collective sigh of relief goes through the room. Tears of fear in Lily's eyes turn into tears of relief. Her small body shakes with quiet sobs. It's okay now, Bear rumbles, his voice a soothing vibration against her ear. You were so brave. You saved your mom today. He looks at his men. You're one of us now, little one. You're family, and we always protect our family. He takes off his own cut, the heavy leather vest with its sacred patches, and wraps it around her. It swallows her whole, a shield of black leather and brotherhood, a promise made, a promise that will be kept. The aftermath is a blur of official procedure. Statements are taken. The full, ugly story of Mr. Caldwell comes to light. He was no psychologist. He was a con man, a predator who preyed on vulnerable single mothers, isolating them, draining their finances, and moving on. With Lily's mother, he had escalated, his intentions turning darker. Lily's desperate flight had saved both of their lives. Later that evening at the hospital, Lily is reunited with her mother, Sarah. It is a moment of pure, raw emotion, tears and whispered words of love and gratitude. Sarah, pale and weak but fiercely protective, holds her daughter tight. She looks up at the four bikers who stand quietly by the door, refusing to leave until they knew both were safe. Her eyes are filled with a gratitude so profound it needs no words. How, she starts, her voice raspy, how can I ever repay you? She fumbles for her purse, for the little cash she has left. Bear holds up a hand, stopping her. We don't take payment for family, he says, his voice gentle. Your daughter's a brave girl. She did all the hard work. We just listened. He nods once, a gesture of finality and respect. Then he and his men turn and walk out, their heavy boots echoing softly in the sterile hospital corridor. They melt back into the night, leaving behind a family they saved and a community forced to reconsider its definition of a hero. 2 years pass. The world turns. Miles are eaten by chrome and rubber. The sons of Odin ride on. It is a cold December evening at the clubhouse. A fire roars in the stone hearth. The mail has been collected, a small pile of bills and junk mail on the scarred wooden bar. Among them is a single Christmas card. Reaper picks it up. The envelope is addressed in neat, careful cursive to the Sons of Odin. He slits it open. Inside is a photograph. A girl, now 10 years old, stands on a school auditorium stage, beaming. She holds a certificate in her hands, Student of the Year. Her hair is longer, her face has lost its childish roundness, but her smile is bright and wide and free of fear. Standing beside her is her mother, her arm wrapped proudly around her daughter's shoulders. Sarah looks healthy, happy, strong. Reaper turns the photo over. On the back, written in a child's improving handwriting, are a few simple words. To my guardian angels, thank you for listening. We are doing great. Love, Lily. Reaper walks over to the large corkboard on the wall. It is covered in memorabilia, photos of fallen brothers, newspaper clippings, thank you notes from strangers they have helped along the way, a faded picture of a dog they rescued from the side of the highway, a letter from a woman whose abusive husband suddenly decided to leave town. Each item is a testament to their code. Reaper finds an empty space. He takes a thumbtack and carefully pins Lily's school picture to the board. It sits there, a bright splash of hope among the weathered memories. Bear comes over, a mug of coffee in his hand. He looks at the picture for a long moment, a faint, rare smile touching the corners of his mouth. Brave kid, he says. Yeah, Reaper agrees. She is. They stand in comfortable silence. Two old warriors looking at the proof that their hard road sometimes leads to good places. The fire crackles. Outside the wind howls, but inside the clubhouse there is warmth. There is brotherhood. And on the wall there is a picture of a smiling girl, a permanent reminder of a day in a dusty diner when they listened to a cry for help. A reminder that sometimes the most important battles are not fought for territory or pride. They are fought for the innocent. They are fought for family. And their family is always growing. The next day, the sun rises on a cold, clear morning. The rumble of engines fills the air as the sons of Odin prepare to ride out once more. Their code reaffirmed, their purpose clear. They are the guardians on the road, waiting for the next person who needs them.